I would now like to talk to you about setting up your field experiences. As indicated in the syllabus and within the course, you will be required to complete 16 hours of field experience. The screen that you're looking at right now is taken directly from your syllabus, so if you want to look at that as I discuss this with you, it might be an opportunity for you to make some notes if needed. As always, do not hesitate to call me or email me if you have questions or need further clarification. Per state requirements, you must complete field experiences within your education courses. Those hours are documented and recorded in the state's database as is explained in the video regarding the KFETS field log. If you haven't watched that video yet, please do so immediately following this one for better clarification. If you have already watched it, then you know exactly what I'm referring to. As indicated in the syllabus, 16 hours must be completed. Also within the syllabus, the ranges of grades that must be observed are provided. I want to go ahead and go over some particulars with you at this time. First of all, how do you set up your field experiences? If you're in Hopkins County, you have to have a background check on file with me, and you must take a copy of that background check with you to each of your observations. You could be asked for it at any time. Everyone in this course must watch the confidentiality video, sign off on the form that is provided, and either email it to me as an attachment or sign, initial, date it, and send it to me through the regular postal service. I need that on file before you go to do any observations. Also in Hopkins County, if you are completing your observations in Hopkins County, I have also provided in this same section of the course a handout that tells you by school how they want you to contact them to set up observations. Some want you to contact the teachers directly, others want you to contact the school secretary, so make sure you follow their preferences. When you contact the individual, whether it be the teacher directly or the school secretary, or in Muhlenberg County's case, they want you to contact the Board of Ed. Some of the other counties may have their own preferences. You will just have to find out what the preference is for your county schools. When you contact them to set up your observations, make sure that you know in advance what days and times you're available and what grades you are needing to observe so that you come across as a very professional, organized individual. If you look in the course syllabus, you will see that on the scoring grading page, under Standard 7, the ranges are broken down for you, as well as in this section of the syllabus. You will be required to complete 4 hours in primary grades, 4 hours in middle grades, and 4 hours in high school, plus 2 hours in a school board meeting and 2 hours in a site-based council meeting. So when you call to set up, for example, your elementary observations, you tell them who you are and that you are a part of the education program at Madisonville Community College. They'll know what you're referring to. They've been doing this for years. Tell them what grades you need to observe and how much time you need to be there. So if you're going there to get all of your elementary hours in, you could, for example, say, depending on your personal preference, I would like to observe 2 hours in a kindergarten class and an additional 2 hours in a 5th grade class. Give them the dates that you're available. They may or may not be able to give you an answer right then, but they will certainly get back with you. Same way with middle grades. You're required to do 4 hours in middle grades. So any combination of 6th through 8th grades, 4 hours, no less. You can do additional hours if you like, but no less. High school, a minimum of 4 hours, any combination of 9th through 12th. Hear me say this, you cannot do all 4 hours in any of the ranges in just one grade. It will not be accepted. You will have to go back and get additional hours in another grade within that range. So do not, I repeat, do not do all 4 hours of observations in one grade level in any of the ranges required. At least 2 or more grades are required per range. Make sure you take your logs with you. Make sure when you show up in advance. You go to the office, you sign in. If you're in Hopkins County, make sure you've got your background check and your confidentiality video slip that you will need to get from me once you've completed the viewing of the confidentiality video. If you're in other counties, the only one thing that I'm aware of, you will need a copy of your viewing of the confidentiality video. So once you've completed and viewed that, let me know and I will get that signed form to you. If your school system doesn't require it, then that's fine. You still need to view it and indicate that you have viewed it. Let me know that you have viewed the video as instructed in the course. When you show up, you are to dress what I refer to as Sunday casual. So that would be, for example, with young men, khakis or twill pants and a shirt, sweater, no t-shirts, no jeans, no flip-flops. Women, young ladies, Sunday casual. It can be dress pants and a sweater, dress pants and a blouse. It can be a dress. It cannot be a short dress. It cannot be a spaghetti strap dress. It could be a skirt and sweater, skirt and blouse, no jeans, no tennis shoes, no flip-flops, no 5-inch heels that you look like you can hardly walk in, no extravagant hair color and or body piercings of any kind if you want a job. Now, that may sound harsh, but I'm telling you, I've been in this business for a long time, and you are judged on first appearances. So you make a strong first impression, because any of the individuals you encounter in any of these observations may well be those individuals who are sitting on the first interview committee when you go for your first job. So I'm telling you, if you have body piercings, I wouldn't be wearing anything in them when I show up for my observations. If you have what we would consider an unnatural colored hair, for example, if you've got green hair, don't go to an observation with green hair. I'm not being funny, I'm being very serious. We've had these issues before. If you have tattoos, we live in the Bible Belt. There is nothing wrong with an individual who has tattoos. There are probably wonderful teachers out there with tattoos. I probably know wonderful teachers that have tattoos. But the difference between you and them is they have a job and you don't. So until you have a job, if you have tattoos, cover them up. If you don't have tattoos, don't get them before you get your teaching position, because you will be judged on first appearances. Again, I have no problem with body piercings. I don't care if you want to wear your hair a specific color, and I don't care if you have tattoos. The school system does. Because when you say I'm going to be a school teacher, you are saying I'm going to be a role model for my students and all future generations that come through my classroom. And trust me, this society needs some very strong, ethical, well-grounded role models for our students. Now, that I've said that, once you get your observations scheduled, you go in, you take your supply of field logs with you, you introduce yourself. Once you get to the classroom after you've signed in at the office, you do whatever the teacher asks you to do. If they say go sit in the back of the corner and observe, fine. If they say I'd like for you to read to these students over here, or I want you to give a spelling test to this student over here who was absent yesterday, take advantage of that. That's all excellent experience and opportunities for you. When you get finished, you get your logged sign, you go home, you type up the report, including the information that is suggested to you in this section of the syllabus, so make sure you read it. We'll talk about it shortly. And remember, when you choose a place to do your field hours, I strongly recommend against going into your own children's classroom. Usually doesn't work out real well. Also, you need to make sure that you only are observing state certified teachers. So any of you going into private schools, you better make sure that they are board certified through the state, or you will not be able to count those hours. So if you go into a private school, make sure you find out when you call to set up your observations if the teacher that you will be observing is board certified through the state. Also, if you have connections within a school, whether it be family, close friends, relatives, a significant other who either is attending that school or working in that school, make sure that is not the topic of your conversation when you're at that school. No one should know your relatives, friends, family, significant others at that school. You are there for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to observe, get the experience, and make a good first impression.